Ladies and gentlemen, neighbors and friends, welcome to another cigar evening with Tristan Tate. There's no fancy intros, there are no videos, there are no clips, no photos, no tweets that I put up on the screen. It's simply me talking to you. Now, if you don't know how these cigar nights typically work, what I do is I light myself a cigar, I talk about it for a few minutes, I let you know if it's good or not, and throughout the time I'm answering your questions and speaking to you, replying to the super chats, answering the questions which were asked to me on X, I enjoy the cigar with you, my friends, and then I finish. The cigar I've chosen today simply has a War Room logo and the words Tristan Tate on it, because it was specially rolled by me, and it's not a brand I could talk about or a brand you could ever get your hands on. That's because tonight I'm not here to talk about a cigar. As I answer your questions in the cigar evening, the more perspicacious of my fans and followers may have noticed that there is a coffee machine to my right. Well, that's because today I'm going to talk about a coffee brand. It's not my coffee brand. It's not Top G's coffee. It's not owned by me like Fireblood. However, it's morally the correct coffee to drink. If you don't know, and if you haven't seen my previous posts on it, 1775 coffee is absolutely fucking excellent. Now, I don't know how to review coffee. I only review cigars and tobacco products. But it's very, very good, and to prove how good it is, we're going to see how many of them I get through during my time on this show. So, I never make myself coffee, but my butler has politely explained to me how to use this espresso machine. I'm going to run the first espresso of the evening. While you guys are getting your questions in, I'm also going to light my cigar. And make sure you check out the link, which is going to be at the bottom of this podcast, and purchase yourself some 1775 coffee. It does not support the Matrix. It does not support BlackRock. It does not support Starbucks. It does not support any of the brands who do morally reprehensible things. It is the coffee of freedom fighters. And if you buy coffee anyway, you may as well get it from 1775. So, first espresso of the evening. Any questions you like answered, super chat them to me. I'll need someone to keep count as well of how many espressos I drink. My cup was in slightly the wrong place, and I spilt a few precious drops of coffee. Skill issue. Amateur hour. Is that it? Wonderful. So this is espresso number 1. I spilt more of it. This one doesn't count. I've spilt about 25% of this so far. But 1775 coffee is fucking excellent. That's what I'm going to call it, because I don't know how to review coffee. I don't know if it's full-bodied. I don't know if it's whatever the fuck people talk about coffee. I'm actually a professionally trained barista, funnily enough. We all know that story. But it's fucking excellent. Buy it today. I want people to tweet that at me. 1775 coffee. It's fucking excellent. So there are many things that I'd like to talk about on today's cigar evening. I posted on X if anyone had any questions for me or any topics they'd like to see me cover. And the number one response I got annoyed the hell out of me. I was furious. I was pissed. That's because the number one question I get whenever I'm looking for information, whenever I say, look, people, tell me something, I'm now actively on my X account reading the replies. The number one reply I get is, hey bro, I have a really important DM for you. Please check your DMs. It's really important that I talk to you. So I'm going to spend the next few minutes explaining exactly how unimportant it is that you guys send me this stupid DM. And it's not all of you. It's about 1 in 10, 1 in 11, 1 in 12 questions I get is check your DMs. It's important. Check your DMs. It's important. Now, you motherfuckers know that I'm actively on X looking through for interesting questions to talk about on my cigar evening. And what you do is you're not just ruining my day. You're ruining everyone's day because here I am talking about it. You're like the kid who fucked up in class and every other kid has to listen to the lecture. When you say to me, Tristan, I have an important DM for you. It's urgent. You're fucking lying. It might be urgent to you that I read your stupid business proposal. It might be important to you that I read your request for free money. But it's not actually important to me, is it? About 0%. So when you try to trick me with messages and posts like, this is important, this is urgent, please reply, what you mean is this is urgent to me. I need you to give me free money. It's urgent. Urgent to me would be, hey, I have a credible source that says you and your brother are going to be assassinated. I have information about the Matrix attack that's happening on you. That would be urgent to me. Don't use the word fucking urgent and don't use the word important to me if you're going to send me some business plan, because if your business is good enough, it doesn't need my money. And if your idea is good enough, it doesn't need my money. And if you're asking me for free money, don't. That's not what the internet is for. It's a shame how panhandlers used to at least have to suffer some level of indignation. If life had gotten so bad that you find yourself begging on the streets, one, you're desperate and in need of money. And you must be desperate because you are facing the public ridicule of being a homeless person, of being a bum, of being a man who's standing on the streets begging for money. Now, there are good reasons to do that. I understand there are lots of homeless veterans, there are lots of people in very bad positions who have to go out into the streets and ask for money. Let me tell you what's wrong about doing it online. The problem is that you pussies aren't in the situation where you need to be begging, because you have internet access, you have a smart device, you have a laptop, because you're posting at me. So I know you're not that broke. And behind your anonymous cartoon picture profile, what you've done is you're doing all the negatives of begging, but without having to face any of the social repercussions of being a beggar. But make no mistake, you are no better than the people begging on the streets. I would argue that you are in fact worse, because you're sitting there inside with an electricity, with your electricity bill paid and your electronic device, smart device or laptop in your hand, and thinking, what should I do today? I've got internet access. I've got electricity. I've obviously eaten. I'm not starving to death. I'm not dead. What can I do today to try and get money? I know. I'll use these amazing tools, the internet, which gives me the ability to access all sorts of information from anywhere. I could join the real world and learn from the professionals inside. No, I know. I'm going to beg people. And you copy and paste your message to me and other people who are famous for having a bunch of money. And quite frankly, you should be ashamed of yourself, and I will never give you money. So when I reach out to my X account and I reach out to people and I say, hey, what am I going to talk about tonight? Don't send me a message saying, hey, this is important, because it's you asking me for free money. And that's not important to me. That's important to you. And I will basically always say no. Espresso number 1, 1775 coffee. Fucking excellent. Let's do another one. Number 2. Coffee number 2. Right, so now let's get into some serious questions, because a lot of people did have a lot of serious questions to ask me. JJB asks me right now, what's your opinion on joining the US military in today's world? And if it's not worth it, would it be better if Trump is reelected? It's going back and forth. I've been going back and forth with it for some time now. Well, that's exactly, you've answered your own question there. Whose army are you joining? Who is the commander-in-chief? Who decides who you fight and who decides who sends you potentially to your death? Donald Trump started 0 new wars as president of the United States, which should be very normal, but it's not. It should be very normal for a man in charge of the world's most powerful country to take charge of that country and to use that power and influence to make sure that new wars do not spring up, and especially new wars that involve American soldiers. When the commander-in-chief is dilapidated, demented, has lost his mind, isn't really the person you think he is, being controlled by others. When the commander-in-chief is somebody behind the shadows, someone behind the curtain, you have to be very careful about joining any kind of military. I'll give you an example. Romania is now sending troops to Yemen to fight the Houthis. Okay. I don't know how much Romanian history you people at home know, but I know more. Romania and the Houthis of Yemen have quite literally nothing to do with one another. Nothing. 0. Less than 0. But who's the commander-in-chief of all NATO forces? The President of the United States, arguably. And if he decides that young men from Romania have to go to Yemen and fight the Houthis, then you've got to go. So before you sign up to any military, Mr. JJB, because joining the military teaches young men a lot of discipline, it's a very noble thing to do if you have a noble commander-in-chief, think about who your boss will be. My advice to you would be wait until November and see who the new commander-in-chief is. Because if it's a noble, good-hearted man like Donald Trump, who isn't going to send you to die for his own personal interests and the bank accounts of his rich friends who own shares in Lockheed Martin and Raytheon, then by all means sign up. If someone like Hillary Clinton were your commander-in-chief, yeah, don't do it. Now, the bishop who was stabbed in Australia is another very, very important question that's come up. And a lot of people are asking about my brother's take on it. My brother saying it's good that Christians are now pissed. I have a slightly different view to my brother, because I've been pissed for a very long time. I understand my brother's perspective when he's saying, you know, finally the Christians are up and mad about something. Finally the Christians are mad about their way of life within their countries being attacked, and it took a bishop being stabbed to do that. You see, I am part of an elite group of permanently pissed Christians. So I don't see it as, Christianity is now under attack. I think it's been under attack for the last 15, 20 years. I've been furious for as long as I've been a Christian. Now, I've been pissed because a bishop being attacked is the attack of a physical person, and obviously I wish him the speediest recovery, and I'll include him in my prayers tonight. However, the religion being under attack is a very different thing. Now, the religion being under attack would be not necessarily the attack of a figure within the religion. It's not necessarily about, the time that the Protestant guy tried to shoot Pope John Paul II, I believe it was in the 1970s. That was the attack on the Pope. But an attack on the religion is when every single member of that religion is asked or forced to accept the compromise of their values. A lot more than the attack on any individual will make it seem. And for a very long time. So I don't see it the way my brother does, because I've been pissed forever. I see pride flags in churches. I see female clergy I see these things as attacks on our faith, and I see these as betrayals of the values of Christianity. Not that females aren't qualified to know the Bible, but a female is just as qualified to be the vicar of Christ on earth as I am to be the vicar of the Virgin Mary. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, Christianity's been under attack for a very long time, and I'm permanently pissed. That said, I wish him a very speedy recovery. I hope he gets well very, very soon. I'm glad that the injuries were non-lethal. And, yeah, he's a true G. So, good luck to him. Hi, Tristan. In the middle of this crypto market, what coins do you think I should invest in? Do you know why I'm so rich in crypto? I'm going to tell you why I'm so rich in crypto. Espresso number 2. Fucking excellent. 1775. Let's pour a third one. I'll tell you why I'm so fucking rich in crypto. Because I don't try to make money with crypto. I do make money with crypto. I've got the people inside the real world, people inside the war room who give me tips of what to buy. I tend not to share that information in public. But the reason is, over the 7 years that crypto has been going strong, over the 7 years where people have been investing in this stuff and buying it and trading it, I've been making loads of real money in the real world. No pun intended. And what I mean by that is this. 6 years ago, there were nerds who made a bunch of money in Bitcoin. And they would preach against fiat currency. Oh, fiat currency is bad. Crypto's the future. And they were, let's say, 35 years old. Well, fiat currency very much is still the currency of the world. And they're now 42. They've spent 7 years trying to live, pay their bills, finance their lifestyles, pay for their kids' schools on this crypto pump they caught 7 years ago. And some of them have enough money to do so. But to sit there and shit on fiat currency as though it's not the currency that currently controls the world, because crypto is the future, just goes to show that you have absolutely no sales skills, no business skills, no real world skills, and no applicable skills to actually make money besides gambling, besides hoping that when you buy a crypto, it's going to go up. Now, if you make enough money in the real world, let's say you're making $300,000 a year, and you have been for the last 7 years. Well, then, crypto is very easy. You take $50,000 or $100,000 a year, and you buy Bitcoin and ETH and a few things you like. And what happens is you find yourself very rich in cryptocurrency, as I have found myself. But I have been trying to make money, fiat currency, in lots of different ways for a very long time, and using that money to invest in cryptocurrency. So when you ask me stupid questions like, hey, what coin should I buy to get rich? Why not get rich and then buy coins is my question. Even the chat in this stream of my friends and colleagues and people who watch me and people who I think respect my opinion, even in this chat, when people say something stupid like, fiat's dead. Fiat isn't fucking dead, mate. And it's not going to be dead for a very long time if it dies at all. Sure, crypto's better. Sure, crypto's easier. Sure, crypto's more convenient. Fiat has the US military behind it. And a bunch of nerds with a bunch of coins on the internet are not going to supersede the people who are in charge of the Federal Reserve Bank and thus the US military. No, fiat certainly isn't dead. And I'll tell you why it's not dead. Because you, who just said that, if I offered to give you $2 million in fiat currency, and I said, well, I'll give it to you, you can have it, but you could never buy crypto with it, would you take it? Of course you fucking would. And you'd be rich forever, because everything in the world, everything you could possibly want to get your hands on, you can buy in fiat currency. So no, fiat currency isn't dead. You may believe crypto is a better system. I may believe crypto is a better system. But you are not more powerful than the US military and the people who hold all the fucking gold reserves. So shut up, make money, buy crypto with the money you make, and buy coins after getting rich. Don't try to get rich by buying coins. It reminds me of that scene in The Wolf of Wall Street when Matthew McConaughey, I don't know what his character's name is. Coffee number 3. This is easy. Why haven't I made my own coffee my whole life? Here we go. So anyway, when Matthew McConaughey in The Wolf of Wall Street is sitting there saying, look, stockbrokers don't do shit. We don't create anything. We don't build anything. We buy a stock at this price. We sell it at this price. But we don't actually make anything. It's a fugazi. It's a fugazi. We all know the scene. That's most crypto bros who are trying to get rich and catch a pump. You're not actually providing the world with anything. Even if you were to take a business I run like The Real World, an online educational platform, I'm providing the world with an online educational platform, and money is coming in. And from money that I make from running this large tech company, I can then use some to buy crypto. Cool. You're not creating anything just trying to buy shitcoins. So I would advise you the absolute opposite. I would not advise you on what coins to buy to get rich. I would advise you to get rich and then to buy coins. Because fiat currency is here to fucking stay for a good fucking while. In fact, I'm going to rant a little about this. Because I was talking to some girl who lives in fucking God knows where. I don't know. But she's a big fan of certain cryptos and crypto communities. And she was saying stupid shit to me about the people who own ETH and the people who own lots of Bitcoin and a lot of the big investors. And they were saying, these people are so rich. They're worth hundreds of billions. They're richer than Jeff Bezos. They're richer than Elon Musk. No, they're not. They have internet coins. And a lot of them, unless they have it in Bitcoin, don't have the exit liquidity to cash out as much as Elon Musk or to cash out as much as Jeff Bezos. It's all theoretical money until you turn it into something real. And I know you crypto guys are going to get mad at me for saying this. Jeff Bezos has the world's largest logistics company in the world. Everybody who sells anything from anywhere on Earth can get that object anywhere and sell it through his platform anywhere on the planet. He is richer than someone with an equal value in internet tokens. He would be richer than someone who has 400 billion worth of Dogecoin. Because if you tried to sell the Doge, the price drops massively after you've sold the first few million, and then it's not worth the amount you had anymore. Same with Elon Musk. The man owns Tesla. One of the biggest car companies in the world, the best new car company for sure, the biggest new car company for sure. He's sending rockets to space. He owns factories. Well, this guy's richer than Elon Musk because he's a bunch of internet tokens. No, he isn't. Because if the internet token drops, he hasn't got shit. It's all a big circle jerk. And everyone in crypto loves to pretend that these people who came up with the cryptocurrencies are geniuses and this project's great and let's jerk this guy off and let's jerk that guy off. He's such a revolutionary. I will give the title of genius to whoever the man who created Bitcoin was. Incredibly smart idea, incredibly well placed, incredibly well timed, incredibly well done. No one else after that is a genius. You're jumping on the bandwagon. So no, you have to provide value to the real world. Do some copywriting. Mow some fucking grass. Cut someone's hedges. Go work at McDonald's. Use the money, invest in crypto. Don't try to get rich from crypto alone. Hey, Tristan. Espresso number 3. What do you think about the recent attack from Iran on Israel? Let's delete the country names for a second. Let's erase the country names so we're not talking about Iran or Israel. It reminded me of a scene in the movie Gladiator. At the very beginning, when they're campaigning in Germania, and Maximus is standing there with his captain, Quintus, and all the Germans come out of the woods against this bigger, more organized, better organized Roman army. And Quintus looks at Maximus, he says, people should know when they're conquered. And Maximus looks at him and says, would you, Quintus? Would I? As in, if someone was trying to attack your home, what would you do? You wouldn't just surrender because, oh, the Romans are here and let's surrender. And the Romans didn't surrender. They fought the barbarians until they were wiped out. 1468. So anyway, let's erase the names of the countries when talking about this Iran and Israel thing. And it's not that I'm afraid of saying the names of the countries. I have 20,000 people watching me right now, and you're all from different nations in the world. Here is my question to you. I don't care if you're Israeli, I don't care if you're Iranian, Chinese, Japanese, Brazilian, American, or British. I don't care where you are from. My question to you would be this. What would you do if a country attacked your consulate building and murdered prominent members of your government? What should the reaction be? Do you not react? It's an important question. You are British. The consulate building in Paris, with a bunch of prominent members of the British military and the British judiciary and government, etc., are in the Paris consulate. And Mongolia blows it up, murdering British people. Would you, as a British man, say, oh, well, let's not retaliate? Or would you think, fuck Mongolia, I'm going to go and bomb Ulaanbaatar as retribution to show that I'm not a pussy and to show that I'm not a walkover? I am going to go and make sure that I respond to what the Mongolians did to us British here in Paris. Now, that's a hypothetical situation. However, that's exactly what happened. Whether you like Israel, whether you like Iran, whether you hate both, whether you like both, prominent members of the Iranian regime were killed at an Iranian consulate building in Iraq, and the Israelis took credit for the attack. What would you do? What do you think your country should do? Would you, Quintus? Would I? People should know when they're conquered. No, I believe that people should defend their own nation when their nation is attacked. Not just that they should, but they certainly have the right to. I want to make a clarification here, because I tend not to mention cryptocurrencies I'm invested in, but I mentioned Venom Network on a podcast maybe a few weeks ago because I believed it was a new and exciting project, a new and exciting chain. And I just want to clear something up, because I didn't mean that clip to go as viral as it went. And what I found is a bunch of scammers are trying to jump on the bandwagon. When I said Venom Network, I was talking about Venom, the chain. Now, I believe Andrew has clarified this on X. If not, I will after this podcast. Scammers are now making coins called Venom on the Ethereum network, on the Solana network. They're making coins called Top G likes Venom, Tristan has Venom on the Solana chain, and trying to sell them to easily tricked people using that clip from the podcast where I said I like Venom Network. No, I don't control Venom Network. It's not me. It's certainly not on the Solana chain. It's not an Ethereum meme coin. It's something completely different. I said I liked it. Don't fall for scammers. And I want to clarify that now. And I'm actually kind of upset I need to clarify that, because people are really dickheads. I could say anything and people make a coin out of it and try to say, well, Tristan pumped the coin because he said this. Very, very stupid. So be careful what you invest in. Let's get a bit more lighthearted. Hi, Tristan. Who should play you in a movie? If a movie is made about my life, I would like a black female actress to play me. Question answered. DEI. It's important. Back to seriousness. Hi, Tristan. What do you think about all the people who were stabbed at the Sydney shopping centre? What do you think about the attacker and his motivations? How can we prevent this from happening? Well, I will tell you how we prevent this from happening. Because obviously, Islamic terrorism does exist. Backwards people from the third world who claim to be Muslims do commit terrorist attacks. This was not an Islamic terror attack, despite everyone jumping on X 5 minutes afterwards and saying it was. Backwards losers from all sorts of third world countries commit all sorts of atrocities in the names of all sorts of religions. If you don't believe me, look up the genocide in Rwanda. Look it up. Rwanda genocide. Look it up. Christians killing Christians, murdering women and children. third world uneducated people, unfortunately, are capable of heinous things. But what do I think about the Sydney shopping center attack and the stabbings? Well, I actually saw a clip that made me very sad. It was the dead attacker's father. And the father seemed like a very decent man, I will say. The father seemed like a very decent man. And this decent man was crying on television. And he essentially said, look, I don't know what to tell you. You're here for answers, and you're here for me to explain something about what my son did. I don't understand it. I'm so sorry this has happened. I'm so sorry to the victims, but I can't make sense of it. And then a reporter asked him, do you think there's a reason why he targeted women? I'm not sure who saw this clip. Espresso number. Is this 3 or 4? Fucking excellent. 1775. Is there a reason he targeted women? Empty coffee grounds. Have I drank all the coffee in the machine? Anyway. And he said yes. My son can't get a girlfriend. Emotionally very weird. Special needs guy. Can't get a girlfriend. He's mad at women. That's why he went around attacking women. So, let's look at school shooters. Because school shooters, I believe to be a very similar thing. I believe it to be sexual frustration motivating terrorism. Which is a real thing. When you hate women, when you are sexually frustrated with male and female dynamics in this world, and you, for some reason, can't stand women, which is horrible that people accuse me of being someone who hates women when I love women, then these psychopaths, like the psychopath who stabbed up a mall in Sydney, and the psychopath who shoots up his school in the United States, usually are motivated by the fact that they can't get women and women don't like them. Well, unfortunately, you can't make knives illegal, because knives are everywhere and have been everywhere for thousands of years. So how does Australia deal with this problem? Well, if you teach men to be emotionally weak, lash out to their emotional needs, cry when they feel like crying, then you're going to get psychopaths who are frustrated with the world. When you're going to teach men it's okay to be weak, when you're going to teach men it's okay to be small and skinny and scrawny and broke, and you should be loved and respected anyway, they're going to get no attention from women. They're going to get no love from females. And these are the types of psychopaths that lash out. Nobody like me has ever committed a school shooting. Nobody like me has ever committed a piece of shit, heinous attack like this. And Australia will spend their money preaching against people like me and Andrew, because we say men should be strong and men should be masculine, as though that's the danger to society. But it fucking isn't. It absolutely is not the danger to society. The danger to society is the men who are all like the people the Australian government want men to be like. No man like me ever wakes up and says, oh man, I've got loads of money, I'm successful, women adore me, women want to marry me and have kids with me, and I'm, strong, and I've got nice suits and Ferraris. I know I'm going to go and shoot up my school or go and stab a bunch of women. It doesn't happen. So I think what Australia needs to do, Australian government, if you're listening to me, is reverse your stupid rhetoric of men should be weak, men should be emotionally led, men should cry when they need to cry. I need more coffee granules in my machine so I can keep overdosing on coffee, please. Thank you very much. There are some? Yeah. It says empty coffee grounds. Oh, you have to empty the machine. Bro, I don't know how to do this. See, I knew there was a reason why I don't make my own coffee. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Now I get it. I thought there was coffee in this bitch. So, let this be a lesson to countries like the United Kingdom. Countries like the United Kingdom that have emotionally led weaklings out there stabbing each other over territory, stabbing each other over who could sell the most drugs, lashing out. England, do not do what Australia does. Stop preaching that Andrew is somehow a dangerous influence on young men for teaching them to be stoic, be strong, go to the gym, worship God, take care of their families, just because he said women can't drive. I advise you to encourage strength in men, to encourage stoicism, to encourage physical capability, and you'll have a lot less of these psychopathic weaklings lashing out at women and against anyone else. Speaking of which, I'm going to give an honorable mention today to somebody who a lot of you are criticizing and a lot of you have said I shouldn't give an honorable mention to. But this question came in. Hey, Tristan, how you doing? What do you think of Mark Zuckerberg's recent physical transformation and the fact that he's training hard and hanging out with UFC fighters? Listen, Mark Zuckerberg doesn't have to like me for me to give credit where credit is due. I want you to understand this. You may hate Mark Zuckerberg for banning certain of your favorite influencers on his platforms. You may dislike his censorship, and you may dislike all of this. However, you can't say that a prominent figure in what I would conventionally call nerd culture, getting strong and fit and caring about learning jiu-jitsu and learning how to fight, is somehow a negative thing. Mark Zuckerberg was the poster child maybe a decade ago for all the people who would say stupid things like, doesn't matter if you're strong and manly. Doesn't matter if you know how to fight. If you get rich, look at Mark Zuckerberg. Blah, 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 blah. Mark Zuckerberg came to the realization of his own accord that, you know what? Yeah, I'm rich as fuck. But now I want to be strong. Now I want to be fit. Now I want to learn how to fight, because no matter how rich you are, that's always important. So to the people when I was saying 10 years ago, when I had a very small channel on that platform that banned me, and I used to say, you know, because I had a bit of money, men need to be strong and fit and learn how to protect themselves and blah, blah, blah. All the haters filled with cope who would type things to me like, well, billionaires don't need to do any of that. You're just poor. Mark Zuckerberg, blah, 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 blah. Need to shut the fuck up now. They need to shut the fuck up because Mark Zuckerberg has obviously come to the conclusion that being strong and fit and manly and athletic is a positive thing. He's probably increased his lifespan by 10 to 15 years. And because of who he is and because of his following, has probably inspired thousands of others to do the exact same thing. The computer programmers, the nerds, the dorks of the world with their skinny necks and their Reddit accounts and their lives that they live online, hopefully have been inspired by Mark Zuckerberg's transformation and thought, I'm going to get out there and in my spare time, instead of jerking off, I'm going to do some jiu-jitsu myself. I'm going to learn some boxing. I'm going to lift a few weights. I'm going to strengthen my muscles. I'm going to build up my body. So credit where credit is due to Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, I know. Even the chat. How can you get blah, 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 Mark Zuckerberg? Blah, blah, blah. He banned you. He did, but oh well. You know, I gave credit to Adele when she lost a bunch of weight, when she used to be a fatty. And she used to be like, well, I like being fat. Fat's good. I like food, blah, blah, blah. She obviously got her act together and thought, oh, wow, well, this isn't good to be fat. I don't want to die at 51 years old of a heart attack. What I want to do is be thin and be prettier and be more attractive and be more respected because, you know, the hard work gets appreciated. And she lost a bunch of weight, and I actually gave her credit. She probably hates my ass if she knows who I am, too. But good for her. However, Adele should learn from Zuckerberg, who's out there saying this is a very cool and important thing to do. And Adele should actually, you know, say being fat sucked and I'm happier now. But I'm not sure her handlers will allow her to do that. I'm not sure her handlers will allow her to do that. Now, another question I'm getting is about the real world, and I'm not going to push the real world or talk too much about it. You all know what it is. But a few people from different countries are saying, my country can't buy the real world. Your country can't buy the real world. I'm not going to name the countries, but some people in certain countries are having problems buying the real world. And my advice to you is this. Tell everyone else in your country to stop being credit card cloning, scamming pieces of shit. And then you won't have this problem. Do you understand what I'm saying? If your country happens to be a credit and debit card fraud hotspot of Earth, then sadly payment processors, like the one who handles the payment processing for the real world, aren't going to accept your credit cards. Maybe, just maybe, you should have a talk with all of your fellow countrymen and tell them to stop being fucking criminals And when they stop, then you'll be able to use your debit card to purchase the real world. Think about it. But I think you can actually also buy it in crypto. Check out the payment options. But that's not my problem if your country can't use your credit cards to buy shit. That is your country's problem, and I can't fix that. Because the moment now I'm pissed. Because the moment I say, oh, it's fine, I'll talk to my payment processors and make it work, all of the people in your country will start fucking scamming me with fake cards. I don't need it. Espresso number 5. Woo! Feeling good. 70 to 75 coffee. It's good shit. Hi, Tristan. What are your opinions on bullying? Bullying's been given a bad name recently. And I am actually, before anyone attacks me and before I get put in the newspapers as the most hated man in the world, I am actually anti-bullying. I don't believe if you have power over another person, you should bully them. If you're their boss, you shouldn't bully employees. If you are able-bodied, you should not bully the disabled. If you're much bigger and stronger than somebody, you should not bully someone much physically weaker than you. No. Bullying in that sense, using your power to inflict suffering on others, isn't okay. And when I see people bullying disabled kids or, I don't know, ganging up on people in gangs of 5 or 6 to beat up some kid at school, I really, truthfully hope they all die. I literally hope they die in the most painful way possible. If you're picking on a disabled kid, I truly hope that you get cancer and die, and I mean that. And I don't care how much that blows up in my face. I don't care if some bully who's been bullying disabled kids gets diagnosed with cancer after this podcast, and everyone's like, well, Tristan said that he hopes he gets cancer. Yes, I'm glad he has it, and I hope he dies. However, too many things are labeled as bullying nowadays. Way too many things are labeled as bullying. And a little bit of bullying, I think, is perfectly fine. There is a man who lives in this house. I won't say Bailey's name, because I don't want to embarrass him. But Bailey has a bit of a skinny neck. And it was noticed by a few people in this house. And Bailey now, because we keep making jokes about his skinny neck, does 1,000 neck curls a day. Now, what Bailey didn't do is lock himself in the room and cut himself and cry and threaten to leave and threaten suicide because we bullied him. What he did was he thought, okay, the guys are giving me shit because my neck's skinny. I'm going to make my neck bigger. I've been in good shape. I've been in bad shape. And when I'm 5, 6, 7 kilos overweight, Andrew looks at me and says, Tristan, you're a fat fuck. I'm like, shit, yeah, I need to get back into shape. I don't cry and kill myself and threaten suicide and be a little dickhead about it. A little bit of bullying goes a long way. And I think as men especially, that we should be able to take it. I believe if your friend's too skinny, call him fucking pencil neck. Tell him he's got skinny legs and skinny arms. If your friend's too fat, call him a fat ass. And if you're good enough friends, then you should be able to make these kind of jokes. And I feel like it inspires people to do better. And it's not really bullying. You know? So bullying in the workplace, my house is essentially one giant workplace. There's not a single person who's in my house who doesn't do business with me or work with me in one way or another. Do I believe that us making fun of each other makes us stronger and makes us better? Yes, absolutely. I do. And I will never stop bullying my friends, and I hope they never stop bullying me. It's fine. Even over things I can't help. Obviously, I have an awesome natural hairline. My hair's not falling out at all, but my friends bully me because of it. What am I going to do? Cry? Who gives a shit? I'm 35 years old and my hair's thinner than it was when I was 21. Who cares? It's fine. Make fun of me all you like. Yeah, bullying's been given a bad name. Can the admin ban the guy who just said, you'll see him, admin. You'll see him. Quick super chat. Who is my favorite Australian fighter? Alexander Volkanovski. I believe that's how you say it. I think he's a hero. Never says no to a fight. He's absolutely awesome. He is my favorite Australian fighter. Random question, but you kept spamming it and you were very insistent. So I'm going to answer you. Tristan, would you ever move back to America? So we're coming full circle here. Because my first question that I got asked about whether or not I should join the American military by that relatively smart young man who decided to ask the question. It's all about who's in charge. It's like, hey, Tristan, would you ever ride the bus? Now. Of course you think I'll say no. But what bus is it? Is it a luxurious tour bus driven by an incredibly safe driver, driving to an awesome destination? Sure. Me and my boys will get on the tour bus and we'll drive to the awesome destination with the awesome driver, and that's fine. Would I get on the public transport bus driven by a drunk driving to a shithole? No. So will I ever move back to America? All depends on what you're talking about, America. Will I ever move back to Trump's America? Yes. Will I ever move back to a great America? Yes. I would never, ever move to America in the state it's in now under the leadership it has now. And that's just the way it is. But, you know, America, everything is cyclical, and I believe that politics will swing a different way eventually. And I do believe that I will one day be able to at least look at America and think, yes, I would like to live there again. Because I am sometimes optimistic. Rarely, but you may catch me being optimistic every once in a while. So make America great again. Register to vote. Vote for Donald Trump, obviously, in November. All of you who are watching me know that. All of you who are on Rumble already know that. So I'm preaching to the converted here. But try to talk to your friends and family and try and make it happen. Because the way things are going, I certainly wouldn't want to live there. And most of you are stuck there. Most of you don't have a choice about living there or not living there. So Faye Rose for the kids. Love you guys. Thank you. Yeah, all super chats, as you know, is giving to the all super chats goes to charity. We don't necessarily need to track it, but we give so much money to charity. The super chats that come in are far less than the amount that we give away. So yeah, this helps fund our charity activities. I find this as a very useful question. Dan Ben Yosef, is there anything you would like to tell your IDF soldier fans? Yes, we exist, regardless of the opinions and activity of you and Andrew. Yes, we exist. I understand fully well the way that military conscription works in most countries. I understand that in Poland and Slovakia and Israel, a level of service in the military is required. I understand that you may not necessarily have had a choice to join the IDF. I understand that it may have been a good career and you've signed up to the IDF. Yeah, I get that we may disagree ideologically with your government. But the thing is about people, and I'm speaking to you directly, my friend. The thing is about people is the world is a very nuanced and complicated place. And I would say that I am not your enemy and I am nobody's enemy. I don't know what your political beliefs are. I don't know if you like your government or if you support what your military are doing, but I certainly do not. Just as I have fans and friends from Ukraine, whose government I do not support, just as I have people in the war room from Palestine, Israel, Ukraine, Russia, who do not appreciate or respect what each other's governments are doing. I feel like if you're watching me for the tenets that I preach, be true to your masculine imperatives, make money, be strong, be fit, then there's no reason why you can't be a fan of me and be part of any single military in the world. The world's a tricky place. But, I understand there are lots of people who watch me who disagree with me on many things. I understand that there are Christian conservatives who watch me who disagree with the fact that I used to run my streaming studio. So I understand that there are people in the IDF or from Israel who will watch me and Andrew, who will watch us condemn the actions of their government and their military, who perhaps agree with other things we say. I don't know what else to tell you. But I appreciate you tuning in, as I appreciate all of my fans and all of my followers from tuning in, as always. But no, I do not agree with what your government is doing. I don't. And if you do, that's your prerogative and your business. But I don't. So it is what it is, my friend. I'm going to end with this question, which was asked to me on X. What is this? What espresso number is this? Gotta get a few more espressos done. Number 5, good. 5th espresso. Let's run the 6th one. Espresso number 6 done, 1775 coffee. Fucking excellent. Good shit. Hi, Tristan. Work hard, but don't work too hard that you forget to enjoy your life is something that you said on previous podcasts. How do you enjoy your life if you stress about not being where you want to be? Well, look around at all you have. It's very, very simple. Let's take me as an example. Am I where I want to be right now? I want to be richer. I want to be more successful. I want the corrupt police forces of this country to stop trying to say I'm a fucking criminal when I'm not. I'd love all these things to happen. However, I understand that right now, those things are not happening. So right now, I do have jackasses sitting in offices trying to prove I'm a criminal somehow, screaming at my ex-girlfriends, trying to say that they're somehow my victim because I paid their rent. But I don't let it get to me. What's annoyed my haters and my enemies the absolute most throughout this attack on me is how much I seemingly don't seem to give a shit. And I don't. And you have problems in your life. I don't know who asked this question. You are not where you want to be. I don't know if that's financial. I don't know if that's in your relationships. I don't know if that's physically. I don't know if that's in your physique or your strength or whatever attribute you're trying to strive for that you don't currently have. But let's not forget how good things are. You are not in Gaza. You are not in Yemen. You are in a first world country, probably, watching me on the internet right now. Warm, not freezing, not starving. You probably got your parents. You probably got brothers and sisters. You probably got kids. Your family probably aren't dying of some weird infectious disease like Ebola. So let's not forget how good things are. So it's very easy to enjoy life. You just have to look at the positives instead of focusing on the negatives. And I know that sounds like very, very simple advice, but it's not that simple, because ignoring the negatives and not letting them upset you is an incredibly difficult thing to do, an incredibly difficult skill to learn. But I have learned it. So I'm going to finish my 6th espresso, reminding everyone who joined me on today's cigar evening to go to rumble.com/1775, I believe. That's the link. I've got the hiccups because I've drank 6 espressos so far. Advising all my young fans not to engage in 6 espresso per hour drinking. This is for professionals only. Professional coffee for a professional man. And as you know, if you want interaction with me, if you want me to see your messages, I do reply to people who buy 1775 coffee, people who post the Fire Blood Challenge when I see it. So if you want to get my attention in some way, start drinking the Coffee of Champions. Start drinking Fire Blood. And I'm probably going to notice you more than I would otherwise. But to revert to the beginning of this cigar night, I will say, don't send me stupid messages, because I don't like them. And I'm going to leave it at that. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. See you next time.